Some bikes cost a fortune and get all the hype. Others, they sit quietly in garages, underrated, underpriced, and completely over-deliver. These are the motorcycles that keep starting on cold mornings, running forever, and surprising everyone who underestimates them. In this list, we're counting down 17 hidden gem bikes that are stupidly cheap, easy to maintain, and ready to eat up miles without complaint. From city commuters to small adventure bikes, these machines prove you don't need to spend a fortune to get reliability, fun, and street-ready performance. And the last bike, it might just blow your mind. Number 17, Kawasaki Eliminator. The Kawasaki Eliminator is back, and it's proof that cruisers don't have to be boring. Powered by a 451cc parallel twin with about 47 horsepower, the Eliminator is quick, smooth, and surprisingly refined. Unlike some cruisers that feel clunky, this one revives the style with speed and sportness. At just 370 pounds with a low seat height of 28 inches, it's ridiculously accessible. New riders can flat-foot it with ease, but even experienced riders love it because it handles way better than you'd expect. The 4-gallon tank keeps you going over 200 miles, and thanks to Kawasaki's legendary reliability, this thing will run forever with minimal fuss. Price? Brand new, around $6,900. Used ones are already popping up in the $5,000 range. That's not bad for a bike that's brand new on the market and still feels like it should cost more. And hey, if you know you're going to love these hidden gems, make sure to hit that like button right now and subscribe to our channel. You'll absolutely love it. Also, if you want to break away from cruisers entirely and step into a world of adventure, the next bike takes you far beyond the city limits. Number 16, KTM 390 Adventure. The KTM 390 Adventure is the entry ticket into real adventure touring. With a single-cylinder 373cc engine pushing out about 44 horsepower, it's got way more punch than its size suggests. Lightweight, nimble, and packed with just enough tech, this bike is ready for both city streets and dirt roads. Weighing in at around 379 pounds with a seat height of 33.7 inches, it's manageable yet tall enough to give you that commanding adventure bike feel. Add in a 3.8-gallon tank, and you're looking at close to 250 miles of range. This isn't just a commuter, it's a weekend escape machine. Price-wise, new ones sit at around $7,600. On the US market, you'll find them closer to $5,500. And that's a bargain when you consider how versatile this thing is. But here's the real kicker. Once you get a taste of adventure riding, it's addictive. And the next bikes on this list might just convince you to never look back. Number 15, BMW G310R. The BMW G310R is proof that sometimes small packs a surprising punch. This mini naked bike from Germany has a single-cylinder 300cc engine that delivers around 35 horsepower and 25 pound-feet of torque, enough to have fun zipping through city streets without breaking your neck. Paired with a 6-speed gearbox, it's smooth, predictable, and ABS equipped for extra peace of mind. Weighing in at about 375 pounds dry, with a seat height of around 31 inches, it's easy for beginners and light enough for the pros who want an agile little toy for traffic. The 2.9-gallon tank might not win long-range awards, but it's perfect for hitting the cafe, the grocery store, or that secret twisty back road. Prices? Brand new, a BMW G310R will set you back around $5,200. Used models? You can snag a clean, low-mileage example for about $3,000. That's right, BMW quality at near entry-level cost. It's also one of those bikes that makes you look twice. Mini but classy, German-engineered but surprisingly fun. It's a bike that laughs at potholes and whispers, "Let's take the long way home," when you weren't planning it. And while it handles like a dream in the city, the next bike on our list will take that concept and turn it into something slightly more aggressive. Number 14, CF Moto 300 NK. Enter the CF Moto 300 NK, the little motorcycle that says, I don't care about brand snobbery, I just work. China's answer to a fun, cheap naked bike, it's powered by a 300cc single-cylinder engine, producing about 27.5 horsepower and 22 pound-feet of torque. Smooth enough for beginners, yet playful enough for anyone who loves a twisty back road. Weighing roughly 330 pounds with a seat height of 31.2 inches, it's easy to handle in traffic. Light enough to flick around, and simple enough that you won't cry when a little rain hits. The 2.7-gallon tank offers a decent range for city errands or quick weekend escapes. Brand new, the 300 NK costs around $4,000, practically a steal. Used, you can get lucky with numbers as low as $2,500. And despite the budget price, reliability is decent. Parts are cheap, and the bike doesn't scream, "I'm fragile" every time you ride. It's quirky, fun, and underrated. The kind of bike that makes people do a double take. And while it's charming in its own right, the next bike we're checking out, it cranks up the style, power, and shock factor just enough to make your friends jealous. Number 13, Yamaha R3. The Yamaha R3 proves that you don't need to spend a fortune to ride like a race-inspired machine. This naked or super sport style bike packs a twin-cylinder, 300cc engine, producing around 40 horsepower and 26 pound-feet of torque, plenty to have fun carving corners or zooming past commuters who think they're fast. A 6-speed gearbox keeps things smooth, and the ABS brakes give you peace of mind when things get slightly aggressive. At 375 pounds with a seat height of 30.7 inches, it's light enough for beginners, but solid enough that it doesn't feel like a toy. The 3.7-gallon tank won't win long-distance awards, but it's perfect for weekend rides, twisty roads, and making friends envious at the cafe stop. Brand new, an R3 will cost around $5,400. Used examples? You can score one for about $3,500, a steal for a bike that feels much more expensive. It's quick, it's stylish, and it's the kind of bike that makes you want to ride just one more mile. And if you think the R3 is fun, wait until you see the next bike. It's like the R3, but with adventure written all over it. Number 12, BMW G310 GS. The BMW G310 GS is proof that adventure doesn't have to cost a fortune. With a single-cylinder 300cc engine producing about 35 horsepower and 25 pound-feet of torque, this mini ADV is perfect for city streets, fire roads, or light off-road explorations. A 6-speed gearbox, ABS, and chain drive stability make it both beginner-friendly and capable for weekend escapes. Weighing around 380 pounds with a seat height of 32.9 inches, it's easy to handle and surprisingly comfortable. The 2.9-gallon tank gives a range of about 170 miles, just enough to tease you into taking one more detour. Brand new, expect to pay around $5,500. Used, some low-mileage examples come in around $3,000. Yes, real BMW for almost beginner bike money. It's capable, and it secretly makes you feel like an explorer without the risk of breaking the bank. And speaking of breaking expectations, the next bike on the list, it pushes style, comfort, and why isn't everyone riding this? Vibes to a whole new level. Number 11, Yamaha V-Star 250. The Yamaha V-Star 250 is the kind of bike that sneaks under everyone's radar, but has been quietly building a reputation as the cheapest way into the cruiser world. Powered by a 250cc V-twin engine, pumping out about 21 horsepower, this little cruiser isn't about speed, it's about style, simplicity, and reliability. It weighs just 324 pounds, has a seat height of 27 inches, and feels so low and light that even brand new riders get instant confidence. A 2.5-gallon tank gives you 150 miles of range. Not huge, but enough for cruising around town or hitting quiet back roads. The price? Brand new, it's around $4,600. Used? You'll find solid ones for $2,500 or less. That's chump change for a bike that looks like a mini Harley, but costs less than a used scooter. Quick question, Which of these bikes would you actually trust to last forever? Drop it in the comments below because the replies on this one are always insane. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. You won't regret it. Also, if you think a little cruiser is cool, wait until you meet the next Yamaha, a naked sport bike that screams fun with every mile. Number 10. Yamaha MT-03. The Yamaha MT-03 is proof that sometimes the middle child of the motorcycle world ends up being the coolest. This bike takes everything riders love about the Yamaha R3, strips away the fairings, sharpens the attitude, and creates a naked street fighter that is perfect for daily riding, weekend fun, and even a few long trips if you're willing to pack light. It is comfortable, forgiving, and shockingly fun, all while being affordable enough that nearly anyone can own one. At the heart of this machine is a 321cc parallel twin engine, delivering around 42 horsepower and 20 pound-feet of torque. Now, those numbers may not sound earth-shaking, but let's be real. This isn't built to be a track weapon. This is built to be the friend who's always ready to hang out. It's fast enough to keep up with traffic, strong enough to blast down the highway, and still tame enough that even a brand new rider can jump on without fear. The power delivery is smooth, linear, and incredibly predictable, which makes it perfect for learning and still plenty exciting once you've mastered the basics. The chassis and dimensions are another big part of its charm. The curb weight sits at just about 373 pounds, which makes it light and easy to throw into corners. The seat height is 30.7 inches, which means most riders can plant their feet comfortably at stoplights. That's a huge confidence booster, especially for newer riders who might be nervous about tall seats or heavy bikes. Maneuvering the MT-03 in city traffic feels effortless. It slices between cars, flicks through roundabouts, and makes even the most boring commutes feel like playtime. Fuel economy is another winner. With its 3.7-gallon tank, the MT-03 can push close to 200 miles per fill-up. That's plenty for daily riders who don't want to hit the gas station every other day. And because it sips fuel like a champ, it also makes ownership ridiculously cheap, one of the many reasons it's such a fan favorite among college students, commuters, and city riders. And here comes the best part. Price. Brand new, the MT-03 sits around $5,300. That's already a steal for the quality, reliability, and style you're getting. But on the used market, it gets even better. Clean examples can often be found for about $3,800. That's crazy when you realize you're getting a modern, fuel-injected, reliable Yamaha that looks and feels like something way more expensive. Maintenance is dirt simple, parts are everywhere, and thanks to Yamaha's bulletproof engineering, these things are known to run strong for tens of thousands of miles with little more than oil changes and chain adjustments. It's one of those bikes that just works, no drama, no breakdowns, no expensive headaches. So if you're looking for a bike that delivers sporty fun, city friendliness, and everyday reliability, the Yamaha MT-03 is hard to beat. It's got the looks, the performance, and the price that make it one of the most underrated machines in its class. And here's the teaser. If you think this is small and friendly, wait until you see the next bike, because it's even tinier, even cheaper, and has a cult following that turns ordinary commutes into legends. Number 9. Honda Grom. Okay, technically it's a Honda, but the Honda Grom is so cheap, so fun, and so ridiculously popular, it deserves a spot on any list of hidden gems. This little monster has built a cult following that few bikes can match. Why? Because the Grom isn't about pure speed, it's about pure joy. Let's start with the numbers. The 125cc single-cylinder motor makes a massive 9 horsepower. But here's the trick. At just 212 pounds, the Grom feels like a mini bike on steroids. It's so light you can toss it around like a bicycle, but it still has enough power to cruise comfortably at city speeds. Twist the throttle and suddenly you're laughing, because riding this thing is like rediscovering what made motorcycles magical in the first place. Seat height, 30 inches, tank size, 1.6 gallons, range, About 100 miles depending on how much you laugh while riding it. And believe me, your fuel economy drops a bit when you're wheeling it through parking lots, taking shortcuts across sidewalks, or just clowning around. Because the Grom isn't about stats, it's about miles per gallon. Brand new, it's $4,000. On the used market, you can score one for around $2,800. And here's the crazy thing. These bikes hold value like nothing else. Why? Because everyone wants one. College kids, seasoned bikers, even old-school Harley riders who secretly grab a Grom for pure comedy value. But don't think this bike is just a toy. The aftermarket scene for the Grom is insane. People build stunt Groms, race Groms, and mod them into tiny custom street fighters, exhausts, big bore kits, neon underglow. If you can dream it, someone's probably already bolted it to a Grom. You could spend as much upgrading one of these little beasts as you would buying a bigger motorcycle. And honestly, it's worth every penny. Another secret? Grom riders form a tribe. Pull up at a bike meet with a Grom, and you'll instantly be surrounded by people smiling, pointing, and probably telling you about the one they used to own, or the one they wish they still had. It's a bike that turns strangers into friends instantly. Once you ride a Grom, you'll never stop grinning. Every ride feels like the first time you learned to ride a motorcycle. It's pure freedom shrunk down into a pocket-sized package. No ego, no intimidation, just play. If you think the Grom is small, cheap, and fun, just wait until you see another mini machine that punches way above its weight, because the next bike shows that size isn't everything, it's about attitude. Number 8. Royal Enfield Classic 350. The Royal Enfield Classic 350 just collects stories. This is a machine that looks like it rolled out of a museum, but the truth? It's still rolling brand new off the factory floor. With a single-cylinder, 350cc motor making 20 horsepower and 20 pound-feet of torque, it's not built for speed, it's built for forever. Weighing 420 pounds with a seat height of 31 inches, the Classic feels solid, heavy enough to feel real, yet approachable for new riders. The 4-gallon fuel tank means you're getting close to 250 miles on a single fill. That's old-school reliability wrapped in chrome and nostalgia. Brand new, you'll pay about $4,600. On the used market, prices hover between $3,000 and $3,500. And here's the thing, these bikes hold value ridiculously well because the cult following is global. In India, it's practically a religion. In the US, it's a statement that you chose character over horsepower bragging rights. The Classic has served police, soldiers, adventurers, and everyday commuters for decades. It's simple, it's mechanical, and with parts available almost everywhere, fixing one is cheaper than fixing a lawnmower. The Classic may be all about history and heritage, yet Royal Enfield wasn't content to stop there. They built a modern cousin that takes all that charm and adds something surprising, comfort and smoothness at a whole new level. Number 7. Royal Enfield Meteor 350. If the Classic 350 is tradition, then the Royal Enfield Meteor 350 is evolution. This isn't just another retro-styled motorcycle, it's a purpose-built cruiser designed for riders who want to slow things down and enjoy every single mile. Powered by the same single-cylinder, 350cc motor as the Classic, the Meteor squeezes out around 20 horsepower and 19 pound-feet of torque. It's not about blasting down highways at warp speed. It's about cruising steadily, confidently, and in style. Here's where the Meteor really shines: comfort. The seat height is just 30 inches, meaning almost anyone can flat-foot it. The handlebars sweep back just enough for a relaxed riding posture, and at 425 pounds, it feels planted without being intimidating. Add in a 4-gallon tank and an easy 240 miles of range, and you've got a cruiser built for real roads, not just glossy brochures. The Meteor also brings a surprising touch of modern, a tiny tripper navigation pod powered by Google Maps. It's not flashy, but it's handy for riders who actually want to get somewhere without pulling out a phone. Pricing, brand new, It's about $4,700. Used, you can find clean low-mileage Meteors for around $3,800. That's a crazy deal for a brand new cruiser with factory warranty, global dealer support, and cult-level charm. The Meteor proves that you don't need big engines or big money to have a big experience. But here's the kicker. While the Meteor makes cruising effortless, the next bike on this list takes effortless to a whole new extreme. Number 6. KTM 250. Duke. Some bikes are built to blend in. The KTM 250 Duke was built to stand out. This thing looks like it was designed in a mad scientist's garage. All sharp edges, exposed frame, and KTM's trademark orange paint that screams, "Notice me." Under the wild looks is a single-cylinder, 250cc engine pumping out around 30 horsepower and 19 pound-feet of torque. That doesn't sound huge, but on a bike weighing just 370 pounds, it feels snappy, lively, and ready to take on city traffic like it's a personal video game. The 6-speed gearbox shifts smoothly, ABS keeps things safe, and the lightweight trellis frame means cornering feels like second nature. With a seat height of 32 inches, it's approachable for new riders, but tall enough that it feels like a serious machine. The 3.5-gallon tank offers around 200 miles of range, which is more than enough for commutes, weekend joyrides, or aimless urban exploring. But despite the styling, the Duke 250 is cheap. Brand new, you're looking at about $4,900. Used, $3,500 will get you one with low miles and plenty of life left. But what makes the Duke a real gem is the attitude. It gives you the feel of KTM's big Super Duke machines, but without the insurance bills, the speeding tickets, or the "why did I buy a monster I can't control?" regrets. And if you thought the Duke was wild for its price, the next bike takes that same affordability and sprinkles in something that no one expected, a modern British badge. Number 5. Triumph Speed 400. The word Triumph used to mean big, expensive bikes that intimidated beginners. But the Triumph Speed 400 flips that story upside down. This is Triumph's first real attempt at building a lightweight, affordable street bike, and they absolutely nailed it. At its heart sits a brand new single-cylinder 400cc motor, producing about 40 horsepower and 25 pound-feet of torque. Paired with a 6-speed gearbox, it's smooth, it's torquey, and it's shockingly refined for a so-called entry-level bike. The seat height is 31 inches, the wet weight is just under 400 pounds, and the riding position is perfectly neutral, upright, comfortable, but still sporty enough to attack corners. A 3.4-gallon tank gives you close to 200 miles of range, which makes it a true daily rider. Now here's the jaw-dropper. Brand new, the Speed 400 costs just $5,000 in the US. That's right, a Triumph, with modern build quality, factory warranty, and real British styling cues for the same money as a Honda Rebel. Used prices aren't really out there yet, since it's still new to the market. But give it a year or two, and you'll see them dip into the $3,500 range. And the best part? It feels like a premium bike. The fit and finish are higher than anything else in this price bracket. Riders are already calling it the beginner bike that doesn't feel like a beginner bike. So the Duke 250 gives you orange madness, and the Speed 400 gives you British refinement on a budget. But what if I told you the next hidden gem offers old-school charm and mechanical simplicity that no modern bike can replicate? Number 4. Suzuki GSX 250R ABS. The Suzuki GSX 250R ABS is one of those bikes that somehow slips under everyone's radar. It looks sharp, it rides smooth, and it's got that Suzuki reliability baked in. But for some reason, it doesn't get half the love it deserves. Maybe that's a good thing, though, because it means you can scoop one up cheap and laugh at everyone who paid double for a fancier badge. At the heart of this bike sits a 248cc parallel twin engine. On paper, it puts out about 25 horsepower, which doesn't sound like much. But here's the truth. It's not about raw speed, it's about confidence. Twist the throttle, and it delivers steady, predictable power that makes every commute or weekend ride feel easy. This isn't the bike that'll blow your socks off on the highway, but it's the bike that'll have you smiling everywhere else. The seat height is about 31 inches, which is perfect for most riders. Shorter riders can flat foot without anxiety, and taller riders won't feel like they're sitting on a clown bike. Add in a curb weight around 400 pounds, and you've got a machine that's light enough for beginners, yet stable enough for experienced riders who just want a fun, efficient toy. Now let's talk about value. Brand new, you're looking at roughly $5,000. But here's where it gets hilarious. On the used market, you can easily find clean examples for under $4,000. That's insane for a fuel-injected sport bike with ABS brakes. And let me emphasize, ABS is standard. That means when you grab a handful of brakes in the rain, you won't end up on TikTok as that guy who dumped his bike in front of Starbucks. Styling-wise, it punches way above its class. Sleek fairings, aggressive stance, and sharp headlights give it that mini sport bike vibe. People will mistake it for a 600 at first glance. And honestly, that's half the fun. It's also ridiculously efficient. Expect around 70 miles per gallon, which means with a 4-gallon tank, you're pushing nearly 300 miles per fill-up. For commuters, that's basically free transportation. The GSX 250R isn't about bragging rights. It's about daily smiles. It's the bike that'll make you love motorcycling without emptying your wallet or wrecking your back. And if you think this little Suzuki is a bargain, wait until we slide over to our top 3 underrated motorcycles. Bikes that take the beginner-friendly formula and turn the dial way up in both power and style. Number 3. Kawasaki Ninja 500. The Kawasaki Ninja 500 just might be the most shocking entry-level bike on the market right now. Kawasaki basically looked at the success of the Ninja 400, said let's make it bigger, and the result is a bike that feels like a perfect middle ground between beginner-friendly and highway-ready. The engine is a 451cc parallel twin tuned to put out around 47 horsepower. That might not sound like a monster, but on a bike that weighs about 380 pounds, it feels alive. This is a machine that pulls harder than you'd expect, cruises at highway speeds with zero stress, and still manages to feel friendly enough for new riders. Seat height is just under 31 inches, which is absolutely perfect. Riders of all sizes feel comfortable, and it's easy to flat-foot at stoplights. Add in Kawasaki's famously smooth gearbox, and you've got a bike that makes shifting feel like slicing through butter. Now let's talk about why this thing is such a game changer. Price. Brand new, you're looking at around $5,700. That's it, for a bike that can literally commute all week and then tear up a canyon on the weekend. That's bonkers. On the used market, you'll start seeing these slide closer to $5,000 flat, which is insane considering the performance you're getting. The styling? Classic Kawasaki sport bike DNA, aggressive lines, sharp fairings, and a stance that screams fast even when it's parked. It looks like a middleweight supersport, but it rides like your best buddy, forgiving, comfortable, and always ready to go again. Fuel economy is another kicker. Expect close to 60 miles per gallon, which gives you legit range without stopping every hour. Combine that with low maintenance costs, and you've got one of the cheapest, smartest sport bike buys in the entire United States right now. The Ninja 500 is proof that you don't need a massive engine or a massive budget to have massive fun. It's the sweet spot of performance, price, and practicality. And just wait, because while Kawasaki nailed the affordable sport bike game, the next bike we're diving into takes cheap, tough, and simple to a whole other level, with a design that feels more old-school cool than futuristic fast. Number 2. Honda Rebel 300. The Honda Rebel 300 is like that friend who never lets you down. Simple, relaxed, and always ready to ride. It's been the first real cruiser for countless riders across the world. Why? Because it looks cool, feels easy, and lasts forever. This is the bike that doesn't scare beginners, but still makes seasoned riders smile. At its heart sits a 286cc single-cylinder engine. Smooth, reliable, and cheap to run, this motor pumps out about 26 horsepower. Not huge numbers, but here's the secret. The Rebel isn't about top speed, it's about comfort and confidence. It cruises through city traffic, glides on the highway, and never feels like it's fighting you. The seat height is around 27.2 inches, which means almost anyone can throw a leg over and feel instantly at home. Add a light curb weight of 364 pounds, and you've got a cruiser that's easy to manage, park, and control. Now let's talk money. A brand new Rebel 300 costs roughly $5,100. But on the used market, you can snag clean examples for around $3,500. That's a lot of motorcycle for not much cash. Insurance? Cheap. Fuel? Expect 70 miles per gallon. Maintenance? Simple. Styling is another win. The Rebel looks like a cruiser should. Low, long, and laid back. Blacked out parts give it a modern edge. And unlike many beginner bikes, this one won't embarrass you when you park next to a full-sized Harley. The Rebel 300 is proof that fun doesn't need to be fast, and reliability doesn't need to be expensive. And here's the fun part. While the Rebel nails cruiser comfort, the last Honda on our list takes things in a totally different direction with a sportier, sharper edge that'll surprise you. Number 1. Honda CB300R. The Honda CB300R is one of those bikes that makes you wonder why more people aren't talking about it. Light, agile, and shockingly good-looking. This is Honda's answer to riders who want a reliable daily machine that also feels like a mini Street Fighter. Underneath the sleek modern frame sits a 286cc single-cylinder engine, shared with the Rebel. But the magic is in the way it's tuned. With around 30 horsepower on tap, it revs higher, feels sportier, and gives you that zip when darting through traffic or carving a back road. The numbers are just as friendly as the feel. A seat height of 31.5 inches keeps it approachable. Weight? Only about 317 pounds, which is crazy light for a street bike with this much presence. That lightness makes it one of the most confidence-inspiring bikes you can ride, whether you're weaving through city streets or blasting down suburban lanes. Now let's get to price. Brand new, the CB300R hovers around $5,000. On the used market, these drop closer to $3,500, depending on condition. That's insane value considering you're getting a bike that looks like a premium naked, rides like a dream, and runs like only a Honda can. The design is another winner. That Neo Sport Cafe styling, round LED headlight, sculpted tank, sharp tail section makes it look like a European exotic, but without the European headaches. Everywhere you park, people will assume you paid way more than you actually did. So what do you think? Did we miss a hidden gem? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell us which bike you would ride home tomorrow. If you had fun, smash that like button, subscribe for more, and ring that bell so you never miss the next ride down memory lane.